Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Tidbits of Wisdom from your host kumar Bala. It's a call of nature that decrees that what comes to pass has to go, what goes up has to come down. And I was wondering where or have all the great teams gone one day, and suddenly it occurred to me that perhaps that is the way nature decides to give everybody a chance. I was just thinking that in the 50s and 60s, when I was a young kid, the Australian tennis team, Davis Cup team, had 7 players who could replace each other like the West Indian fast bowlers of the 70s and 80s. And each one, they were formidable and invincible almost when playing the Davis Cup, the tennis team champion, lawn tennis team championship. We wonder how they were irreplaceable. They found replacements, youngsters taking the place of seniors and giving them a fight of their lives to get a position to be in the playing squad of the Australian tennis team. We can imagine the likes of Rod Laver, the greatest player of all time, or the greatest left-hander also, who won 2 Grand Slams, one before the professional era and one after the professional era. Then we had Neil Fraser, we had John Newcombe, Roy Emerson, Fred Stolle, and the whole group of them, each of them led by the formidable non-playing captain in those days, Harry Opman. They must have won more than about 15 Davis Cup titles year after year, and it was a question of whom they had to field to play in the challenge round. Those days, of course, they also played various tournaments, and all of them featured in the first 5 or first 7, and definitely in the first 10, all the 7, and a few exceptions of our own Ramanathan Krishnan and Manuel Santana of Spain were the people who gave them a fight for the money. But with the passage of time, and if we now look, except for a Pat Cash, we hardly have anybody who is now in the first 10 or at the maximum in the first 20 of the ATP rankings. Australia is known for other sports, it's known for its cricket, it's known for swimming and athletics, and even features regularly and well in the World Cup football. But as far as we talk about tennis, we hardly find that Australia has a place in the sun. That is perhaps the way nature works to ensure that there is a change in the guard, and that keeps the place going. We need not go very far away from home when we think of the India and Pakistan hockey teams. The Indian hockey teams before independence was, of course, the world champions ever, because both the countries played together under one common flag, and we had even Diane Chen defeating Adolf Hitler and his team in the Berlin Olympics. And from that time right up to 1960, nothing came in front to be psyched by the Indian hockey team. The grass and the ancient equipment all suited the humble origined Indian hockey players, and they used to run amok against the other European teams like Germany, Great Britain, and in those days Holland was a force to reckon with. But with the passage of time and with the change of rules and conditions, we found that the Europeans, in their crookery, brought about changes like the AstroTurf, where you had to be physically very strong. You did not have to have any of those great legendary skills of dribbling and ball control, and the rules of the game, if you look at it right now, is completely different. And people like the greats like KVG Singh Babu, like Pratipal Singh, like Doginder Singh of the 1960 Olympics, all went by, have become a vanished breed. Take in the case of Pakistan, it had a huge legion of men, and they used to fight regularly with India for a place for the gold medal, either in the World Cup or in the Olympics. Their forward line was perhaps the greatest and the most defining forward line. People like Islauddin, like Hassan Sardar, like Abdul Rashid, Muhammad Shahnaz, and Samiullah right up in the forward. Defenders like Akhtar Rasool and fearsome fullbacks like Tanveer Dar and Munawar Zaman all were people who got into the world 11 with greatest of ease. In fact, they were so proud and so defiant about their skills that even in the 1972 Music Olympics, they felt cheated because of a dicey penalty corner given against them against West Germany, and they were defeated by 1 goal to nil. They made a very painful show after during the medal ceremony, but still they were so fearsome in their approach and so classy in their game that we really now wonder where Pakistan has gone.